Season 13 is here, and with it a whole new rank system, which is much harder and takes more time to rank up. The new system is a bit confusing and there's a lot of misconceptions out there, so I want to talk about the reality of the new rank system, and I want to give you guys 6 tips so you can reach any rank you want on Stormpoint. Let's go. The first tip or misconception I want to talk about is that early KP doesn't mean anything anymore, that contesting off of drop isn't worth it. And you know, it's still KP, yes, and the value of that KP multiplies as the game goes on, yes. But you're risking, let's say you do get bad loot. Let's say you just straight up lose that 3v3 at the beginning of the game. Well, you're losing an increased amount of RP because of the new rank system. But let's say you do win that fight and you run a risk of just getting third partied, and that 1, 2, 3 KP that you had is only 1, 2, 3 RP. Minus that increased cost, you're still losing a big chunk. So unless you know it's an easy 3v3 that you can take and your team's loot looks pretty solid, what I'm liking to do this split is landing alone, rotating to where you know teams might have landed or just one team landed, and trying to take an angle or fight them on edge of the map for a straight up 3v3, because the KP is valuable, but you do not want to get overly aggressive and risk dying early. You'd much rather want to prioritize placement and staying alive and getting your KP maybe a little bit later. So don't force things early if you don't need to. Second up, let's talk about one of the new additions to Stormpoint, the armories. They are cool, they give amazing loot, and they upgrade your armor. But they do make a lot of noise, and people every single day are finding new ways to lock you in there so that you can't hit that gravity cannon and get out, which the developers put in there so you would not get trapped in there and just pinned in. I think that unless you're really starved for loot, you should not try them because it takes a while to complete. And in the last few days, I've done maybe 5 or 6 of them, and every single time except for maybe once, we had a team roll up on us and try and pin us in there and kill us, and there was a few times where we barely got away. And on the other side, I rolled up on a few teams there and we have killed them and wiped them or third partied a team that was already trying to pin them inside. So I'd rather you guys, you know, if you don't need that extra loot, don't get greedy and risk it and take an unnecessary fight. I'd rather you guys just rotate, go maybe craft somewhere else, or just wait for later in the game to get your loot. And third, let's discuss solo queuing, which is at the forefront of all the controversy with this new rank system, which is a grind and it really rewards winning, which is very hard while solo queuing because of all the different things that we already know that happens while solo queuing. So I have to recommend to you guys to use the Apex Legends Discord or use any other form of finding teammates, because at least duo queuing gives you the chance to climb. Because I personally think solo queuing the Masters will be impossible. I think maybe Diamond and Plat is definitely obtainable as a solo queuer, but Masters I think will be too big of a grind for literally 99.9% of solo queuers out there. And I do hope they make some type of little change for solo queuers to have a much better experience. And if you guys are enjoying this video and want to support the channel for free, please drop a like on this video so it can spread to more Apex Legends players on YouTube. Tip number 4 is to not panic about KP. This new rank system is all about balance, the balance of KP and placement. This season in this new rank system, they both work together. Neither is more valuable than the other and they both need each other. Respawn really balances out by making this relationship and rewards playing the game the right way. And placement and positioning late is much more important, especially in higher level lobbies. But why? Because honestly, in higher level lobbies, people are not fighting as much. They are focusing on positioning and getting the best spot in the end zone. It's more in line with how the competitive Apex is played. So if you roll late into a lot of zones, you're going to struggle finding a lot of good areas to hold. And while the match could have dead moments if you're just holding center zone, the end zones will still be intense with a lot of teams being in the area, but focusing on positioning and just letting the KP come to you allows for a bit more consistency, because more likely than not, you're going to get into the top 10, and at that point, kills become very valuable. The key is to not get aggressive on a dumb fight to really force the issue to try and get KP. Focus on your placement and the KP will come to you, and at that point, like I said, it's going to be more valuable. You don't want to get easily thirded or killed trying to push something and then you didn't get kills and you didn't get placement and you just lose a massive chunk of RP. The fifth thing I want to talk about is on Stormpoint, we probably have, with this new rank system in this season, the most competitive version of rank we've ever had. So you have to be playing meta legends and have actual solid team comps. Gone are the days where you can just jump in with 3 aggro legends and gun skill carries you. The way the season is built with the new rank system and Stormpoint the map, you have to have legends that complement each other and you have to play the meta legends. So you need at least one defensive legend, which could be Newcastle, who has come in very strong and is definitely meta, or Gibraltar, you know, old reliable. These guys will keep you safe in open areas and allow you to win endgames by themselves. And then you should be running at least one movement legend on your team, but you can get away with 2, and this could be Path, Octane, Horizon, Valkyrie, or Ashe. And then if you want the better recon legend right now, because of the hectic close range end zones, I think that would be Seer over Bloodhound right now. These are the meta legends in Season 13, so you should be running a combination of these guys going forward to get the best and most consistent results. Finally, the most important part of this new season is you have to learn how to position your team to win more games. More importantly than ever, placement makes KP more valuable, and if you want to climb, you have to be winning games with the massive increase in cost to enter a match, as well as the increased cost in climbing each individual rank. Just getting a ton of kills will not carry you. Winning games matters, so you have to be able to properly position your team within zones and have the proper team communication and timing to know when to push squads. This also makes having a legend like Valkyrie on your team more valuable, since beacon knowledge matters a lot because teams this season are playing for end zones, so you have to know a good spot, know how to stay calm and play as a team in hectic multiple team end games, and move and fight as a team, as well as using your legend's abilities at the right moments. And if you constantly lose end zones or get killed rotating into final zones, watch this video right here to win more matches.